Good evening, race fans. Welcome to Chicagoland Speedway, and this is a funky little tri-oval here, as really there's no backstretch that is straight. This thing is round. You can see it right there on the screen. Just unique. It's not something that you typically see out here. The track is almost fully round. I guess you can consider the two little straightaways heading to the tri-oval part and away from the tri-oval. The only straightaways on the track, but should put on a good one here tonight. Nice size field, 23 cars in attendance here, and we are already done with qualifying, so I'm gonna hop right over into the results from qualifying, give a rundown while Jimmy's getting all set up here. On the pole is going to be Craig Jancic with a 30.759. Shane Therian in second. Alan Elwood, Diego Remy, Peyton Strickland, your top five. Then you got Daniel Wiles, Garrett Pick, Mike Moultrie, Chase Stewart, and Bryce Reiner, the top 10. Josh Van Westen, Nico Garcia, Jeremy Gainey, Dave Tilford, and AJ Connors going to round out your top 15. 16th is Caleb Collins. 17th, John Crane. 18th, James Seawright. 19th, Joe Thomas. 20th, Tony Bramble. And then the rest of the field, Casey Phelps, Tyler Bramble, and then John Williams Sr. not putting in a time. He's going to start from 23rd, but I believe we will have one driver that's going to get an EOL, and that is Garrett Pick. He's going to be sent to the back of the field. But we are rolling out here, and we're going to see who's going to put the win in Windy City out here tonight. But Carl Hamrick in the booth, joined by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, unique little track out here. It should put on a pretty good race here for 80 laps. Well, as you can see, they are pacing here in the background, so we'll get on over to your leader here, Craig Jancic, going to be on the pole, as we mentioned here, and certainly could use a good little jump start here, as this is going to be his fourth race on the season. Does have one top five out of those three races, but good qualifying effort here. Points leader Alan Elwood is starting right up there as well, and Shane Therian right up there. He certainly needs a little jump start to get him a little bit closer in the running here. I know he's certainly been finding a little bit of speed lately, but we'll see who's got it here tonight. Again, a good sized field out here, 23 cars ready to take the green. The pace car lights are out, and we will send it over to Barney for the start of this thing, and green flag is waving. We are racing at Chicagoland. These guys down a little bit, at least on my end. They are quite loud, so hopefully it's not blowing out you guys' eardrums out there. Exactly. I just can't hear Jimmy when he talks is the problem. So, but completing lap number one, Craig Jancic is in the lead. Alan Elwood moved up to second. Peyton Strickland now going to battle with Therian. He's going to move himself into third position. Stewart into fifth right now, as Therian's still battling to keep the position, and he is going to move back into third. Well, good start from the field, as track map up there for everybody, and see, it looks like we had a bit of an issue possibly from Casey Phelps, maybe starting from the pits, but he is going to be way back from the field. Now a little battle for the lead here, as it looked like Jancic got a little bit wobbly there, but he is going to hold on to the lead. Therian gets a good run off the corner, and he's going to dive it down to the inside of Elwood for second. One thing about Chicagoland is this thing has many grooves through these corners, and it's great to see these cars really fan out. Even on the front stretch of the tri-oval here, I mean, you see guys all the way up to the wall and all the way down onto the apron, but maybe three-car battle now for the lead. Therian all the way down to the bottom. See Elwood at the top, Jancic kind of in the middle, everywhere and anywhere you want to go, and then that wonky little curb backstretch is going to send them into turn number 3 here, and again, see Jancic kind of running that middle line here. Elwood at the top, Therian liking the bottom right now. Now Strickland going to go to the outside, try and battle again for third place. Just sitting there watching right now is Chase Stewart in fourth. Certainly a little different this week than last week at Lucas Oil, and these guys get to open it up here a little bit and put on a good show so far. But Jancic not getting away at all. Elwood all over the back bumper, damn near pushing him through the front stretch as a head off into turn number one. Little bit of a two-car breakaway, but Peyton Strickland still right there in third place, hanging on to the back, as is Therian and really the rest of the field. And you look from first all the way back to about 17th or 18th, everybody's still within that bubble, still within that drafting zone, and then a bit of a gap back to 19th there in Joseph Thomas. But good start here, completing lap number 7. It is still Jancic at the front. He's had a little bit of battle with Elwood and with Therian. It seems to have calmed down, and maybe Jancic testing the water up there at the top. He's seen Elwood running that top line, and now he's going to venture up there. Whether it's to test it out and see if he likes it, maybe it's to take away the line from Elwood, but either way, that 97 migrating a little bit more towards the top, and now you see him dive back down towards the bottom. And good thing he did, because Elwood was thinking about a bottom side pass. Tell me pit stops actually mean something, Jimmy. I mean, I feel like we never talk about them week in and week out. And well, taking a look at the point standings coming in here, Alan Elwood, 3 wins on the season out of 5 races, has a 11-point lead over his teammate Nico Garcia. Daniel Wiles drops to 3rd place in the points, 16 points back. In the silver division, A.J. Connors leads by 11 over Tyler Bramble, 21 over David Tilford. And then in the bronze division, it is Dan Phelps, 12-point lead over Joe Thomas and 16 over John Crane. But again, still plenty early in this season and plenty early in this race so far. But again, 15 races in the regular season until we break it down and go playoff racing. And I'm certainly looking forward to it when it gets there and getting to basically drop everybody back down to level playing field and see who's got it for those last few races before we head to the championship. But we got a lot more in store before that, and a lot more action at the front here as Elwood battle for the lead, and it's going to be very close. Not sure if he led that lap. Looks like he led that lap by about 0.02. So give that lap lead to Elwood. I don't think it's going to be that the last lap he leads, but man, slides like that through the corner. Very well could be, as he was dirt tracking it coming off of 2. See that the field here from the digger cam is still all pretty tight together. Coming off of 2, some scraping on the wall, getting real close, or maybe kicking up some marbles. But all in all, good run here so far from the boys, and maybe shaking up some cobwebs there from Lucas Oil, that tight short track out there in Indianapolis. But we keep it out here in the Midwest for Chicagoland, and good racing so far. Elwood to the bottom, got very close when he came back up on the track there to the back bumper of Jancic, but they're going to send off into 1. Elwood trying to maybe get a little air under that 97 to get him a little loose, and maybe does so. A little bump and little elbows out here tonight, and Elwood, 3 ones on the seats or not, he's wanting to fight hard here to get the lead. He's gonna slide job. But the crossover here from the 97, getting very close. And Jimmy, we're on lap 15 right now, not like, 78, right? Big shift up here, and you see from the battling between the 97 and the 5, well, it's brought the whole gaggle of cars up here at the front. Jancic, Remy, Elwood, Strickland, Stewart, Therian, and Reiner throw a blanket over the top 7 right now, and now sneaking in the picture, Nico Garcia back there. The top 8 covered by less than a second here on lap 16. I'm loving this. Oh, a bit of a bobble back there. One thing that's pretty cool about these wide tracks like this and all these lanes going through the corners is you see them up there at the top of the track entering into one, and the leader goes off high, and then all of a sudden you see just an amazing dive from the top to the bottom by the guy in second, and that's what you see from Remy here, is he is doing everything he can to dig and get up there. A good start here for Remy, starting up there in 4th position, but he's already up to 2nd now, battling for the lead with Jancic, who has been very tough at the front, relinquish it for a little bit to Elwood, but it's back battling again, and we got a good battle back here once again between Therian and Strickland. This time it is Strickland on the outside, getting close there. Now 3 wide down the backstretch. Therian tries to pinch Strickland up there a little bit, but they're both going to get around the 5 of Elwood. Little bottle from Strickland, but he is going to make that pass and move himself into 4th place. And man, if this is what we got on lap number 19, I don't know if I can handle the second half of this race.
Yellow flag.
It looked like there was a big amount of netcode in between. I mean, they might have made contact regardless, but it looked like netcode really came into play right there. And I believe it was between the 90 and I want to say the 40 of Chase Stewart. We'll go back and take a look and see what brought this out here. And we'll slow it down. Looks like the 90 clearing ahead of the 51, but it was coming off the corner onto the tri-oval, and wow, not sure what that was at all, but the 90 turns directly to the right, and again, I don't know if they physically made contact, if the netcode got involved, but the 90 and the 40 making contact, and again, we'll take a look at that one more time from another view, and yeah, we'll hop on board here. It looks like Reiner is fighting that car off the corner, maybe a little loose, and then the car all of a sudden grips. And that's what caused it right there, as he was loose trying to fight off the corner, and then all of a sudden the car hooked up and unfortunately hooked into the 40. But looks like everybody, for the most part, is going to get away with this one. A little bit less lawn maintenance for the guys here at Chicagoland. But we're going to be under our first caution. A good amount of drivers coming into the pits. Looks like actually the entire field coming into the pits. But not everybody taking tires. Not everybody taking tires. And one of them not taking tires is the man that is going to be in the lead. That is Garrett Pick. He's the one that had to serve the EOL here to start the race. He was not supposed to qualify, didn't realize it, and was sent to the back to start the race. But well, he's completed the back to the front at this point. He was doing pretty well. Last I seen, he was up just outside the top 10 before this caution came out. So he certainly got a fast 440 race car out there, and now he finds himself up at the front. Got plenty of guys behind him that are hungry and got some fresh tires though, so it's going to be interesting. And I mean, already on lap number 21 here, and these guys are taking a set of tires. I don't know how much the tires are actually wearing. I mean, if they're wearing as much as it looks like they should on track, I mean, they're just throwing these cars all over the place, and it seems like they grip wherever they want. But clearly, the drivers feeling like they need a new set of tires already. So we got some issues. I'm going to try and refresh you here, Jimmy, because it seems like people can't hear you. So, I mean, 1 sec. I'm going to re-upload this thing here real quick. Hopefully everything is clear now and we can hear Jimmy in the background. So, yeah, just, you know, it's nothing like usual, just me talking to myself out here. And you can just imagine what Jimmy was saying. A lot of curse words. It's really good that it was... I
was sincerely censored.
That's what he was talking all the time. I just had to bleep him the whole time. That's really what the case was. But should be back good to go now. And we're about ready to be good to go here for the race. Pace car lights are out. It's going to be under control from the 440 of Pick here on the restart, and he can pick and choose when he decides to go here. Jancic going to be in second, Remy, Therian, Elwood making up your top 5, Strickland, Seawright, Garcia, Moultrie, and Collins your top 10. But Pick is on the loud pedal, and we are back racing at Chicagoland.
Back to the races, let's go. Let's go on some rain with this one, Carl.
Let's see what these drivers have for the second stage of this race here, as the first one was certainly very interesting, and already a pass for the lead. Those tires working out very nicely here for Jancic. He's going to make the pass here on Pick for the lead. Therian down the inside. How about Strickland throwing it in the middle there? Had to work the wheel there a little bit. And he's going to settle for falling in behind Therian, and now actually dives to the inside of the 3. Side by side for a second, and man, he had to wheel that thing down to the bottom, but luckily he's got those fresh tires and fresh grip. He's going to move himself into second. Remy moves up into third, Garcia into fifth. But wow, definitely some racing out here tonight.
Yeah, Strickland wanting to get up there up to the front, can't let Jancic go, and Jancic is able to get out to a heck of a jump there, but back here with the 84 of Moultrie and Pick sliding back. You can see those older tires, how well they hang up, and obviously Pick trying to do what he needs to do, maybe trying to save them tires for a later time and to have that advantage. So able to get the lap right underneath caution, so that will help things out with points, but it's going to fall back here ever so slowly. See what he settles out here with the rest of the pack not on new tires.
Jimmy Stewart looking out there a little bit. Hopefully that cleans up for everybody. But out front, it is Jancic, and he's got a little breathing room now. 0.8 of a second before you get back to Peyton Strickland here in second. Shane Thurian in third for now, but he's got his teammate roaring to the outside as Nico Garcia going to try and make the pass here for third, and going to do so going into turn number 3. So that's going to move Thurian back to fourth place. Diego Remy right behind him there in fifth, but he's now looking to the outside to try and make a pass. Mike Waltrip up here battling for the top 5 for the first time here tonight as he started back there in 8th position. And again, it's amazing to see all these different lines. How about Moultrie through the middle? Gonna get Thurian just barely, man. Just whew, good thing they didn't put an extra coat of paint on those cars. As Moultrie gonna move himself up into 4th place now, getting a little 2-for-1 action there. His teammate right behind Daniel Wiles, 3rd in points, trying to work his way up through there as well. But now he's going to be stuck on the outside as the 90 of Reiner goes to the inside. A nice little bounce back here for Reiner after being involved in the incident. He's back up there into 6th place.
Yeah, and Reiner doing a pretty decent job bouncing his way back. And I don't want to speak too loudly, but I've been keeping my eye on a certain number 12 car that's been running that high line, just kind of cruising away kind of up through the field car. So I want to watch out for that high line coming into play. And if the other drivers aren't paying attention, I might have just brought it to their attention that there's some speed up there right now.
Well, the other thing to look at is right here on the screen with the 12, and that's the 5 of Alan Elwood. Meyer back here outside the top 10 right now in 11th, and now going to be passed on the outside, excuse me, by Stewart. Drop back to 12th place. So maybe thinking a little bit tire conservation for this run. He certainly wasn't thinking it for that first run, and maybe he realized once he got a little bit deeper before that caution that they weren't wearing too nicely for him as he was starting to slip back a little bit. So he's just taking a little easy here on the beginning of this run. But out front, Jancic still enjoying the lead. It's gotten a little bit smaller. Strickland's cut it in half now, under a half a second, but still a nice little lead here for the 97. Strickland, Garcia, Moultrie, Remy rounding out your top 5. Then you got Reiner, Wiles, Collins, Stewart, and Tilford into the top 10.
Yeah, so far so good. Everybody pretty well spread out just a little bit. A couple good battles going on. Where people are still close back to around Elwood. Obviously, you see them working together there, the 3 and the 5. As the 5's now working on that high side. So I don't think you'll see them hang around too far or too much. You know they have speed. I have no doubt in my mind they can get back to the front. They just really have to time their tires right. Like I said, it's about 10, it's not 10 to 15 laps. Those tires feel super good. It's like you can drive the car anywhere, and then all of a sudden, they disappear. They're too hot, they're too greasy, the car doesn't want to steer anymore, and the rear end's coming around on you trying to leave the corner. So, yeah, I can see Alan Elwood really taking hold of the tires. And look, I can understand what the tires are doing. The car, I always drive the hell out of them when they suck.
I'm right with you. I feel like I've tried 100 different ways to save tires to this point in my career, and none of it works compared to some other guys. I mean, the only place I think I've been able to save tires is when they did the first refresh on the dirt ovals, and the tires really wore down, and it was great. It put on some great racing, and you really had to kind of tiptoe a little bit. That's the only time I can really consider that I could save tires and still be decently fast. But ovals on asphalt, I don't know. Still learning, I guess. Still trying to find my way out here. But that's why I'll just come up here with you. I'll just find my way up to the booth up here. It's nice and safe and cozy as usual, and get to watch some great racing action.
Yeah, I get to watch the great racing. I'm not in the middle of some mess that's probably not my own, or it is my own, whatever it may be. I could just get frustrated. I just recently have taken some time to kind of start honing in on some of my road driving, and I found a lot of issues that are very bad habits, and I am actively working on them. But the big part about actively trying to retrain muscle memory and bad habits is you get slower before you actually get faster again. So we're kind of like, I I was doing okay. Now I'm taking a couple steps back, but the driving is a lot better. So it's just now bringing it back up to speed. So it's going to take me a little more time, but I'm overall happy with what's going on with the changes that I've been making. So hopefully in the next few months, I'll start being able to run up with some of the higher competitors. But we'll tend to see that these overs, man, this is just another animal. And like you said, talking about this tire conservation, it is a tricky feat and dance that these drivers do every single week.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things you can take from oval to road and vice versa. There's certainly a lot of differences. When you go to a road course, most likely you're not going to see 3, 4, 5 different lines through a corner. The way you take a corner is the way you take a corner, unless it's raining. Then there is going to be definitely a different line. But luckily, these boys here don't need to deal with any kind of rain, at least to this point. Maybe in the future, iRacing will add rain to the ovals here as well. And
closely, give them some rain tires.
I mean, I don't know. We'd have to try to figure out the budget here for CRN for red flags and rain delays and other things like that. We definitely need some commercials to burn the time up. But as of right now, nice and green, and really some good weather out here for the drivers as well. The track only 87 degrees, which is why you're seeing, I think, a lot of those different lines. Tons of grip out there. Nice and cool track, and really racing out there.
What you're saying is you do not set up the race tonight.
No comment. No comment. It actually went off, on schedule and on time. So I know it is shocking. Exactly. I mean, nothing makes sense about this. I think we were a little bit late on schedule getting on here for CRN. So there's the hiccup for the night. And obviously not be able to hear you. There's a hiccup number 2. So strike 2. Hopefully we don't get a strike number 3. But out here, still running great. About to cross and complete half of this race here now. Greg Jancic out in front. He's got about a 3/10 of a second lead over Peyton Strickland, but Strickland's got a little company here as Garcia now up here to the inside. Garcia would love to have a good finish here and keep tracking down, keep within that pace of the 5, who is still back there in the back half of the top 10. Elwood is still in 10th place right now, but as we mentioned, the points still pretty close after 5 races, and Nico Garcia in second place in those points. He's got 1 win on the season out of 5, and doing really good. Just clipping away at those top 5s week in and week out. So we'll see if he can put together another one here and maybe grab another win in the 51 machine. But
51. Yeah,
51. Yep. But good race so far. I mean, I can't say anything bad. The little bit of bobble there from the 90 into the 40 earlier, bringing out our first caution and only caution so far, and it just looked like again, Reiner maybe trying to correct it coming off the corner, and the thing just snapped on him. So great job by all these drivers, but a little bit different this time after 20 laps, Jimmy. As take a look at those M&Ms, those Skittles, they're starting to spread out here a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. They're not fighting quite as hard, and I think they thought maybe they could get away with it, roughing them up that early. But I think maybe a couple bangs and bruises, wall tags, and some drivers were like, all right, let's calm down just a little bit. We're now just breaking the halfway mark, so this thing's only halfway over. It was great 20-plus laps there for the first stop, and now these drivers are looking to pull it in here to probably stretch it out. To only have to stop one more time. I don't think they're going to make it the rest of the way, but who's got the extra fuel? Who was out there? It was who stayed out? Pick. So Pick stayed out there, and he hasn't come in yet. So
he did come in. He just didn't take tires.
Oh, did he come in?
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't take tires.
Yeah. Everybody did pit on lap 20, or even came in and pit a little bit later, just to top off on fuel during that caution. But everybody was in on lap number 20. Well, we should be seeing some more pit stops here coming up pretty soon. I would say probably around the lap 50 mark. You may see these guys come in for their last pit stop and maybe try and split this thing right in half. otherwise, it's been a really good one out here, and I want to thank everybody that's out there tuning in to CRM for the race here for the CORE Xfinity Series. And yeah, I really can't say too much about it. After Lucas Oil last week, kind of really shocked me. It's not often you see a short track go well, and I guess I shouldn't be surprised with all the talent that we have here in the CORE Xfinity Series that ended up going very well out there at Lucas Oil. But here, it's going just as well here at Chicagoland, and it's starting to spread out here as we said. But I think the pit stops coming up here soon are going to really go wrench into things. Jancic still in the lead. Nico Garcia has made the pass on Strickland here for second place. Moultrie up into fourth. Reiner in fifth. Then you got Remy, Wiles, Stewart, Collins, and Elwood rounding out your top 10. Therian just outside the top 10 in 11th. Ben Weston, haven't talked to him too much yet, just kind of hanging out right outside the top 10. But yeah, as Jimmy's saying, pit stops are underway. Peyton Strickland, the first one to come in from third place, coming in here, and I believe these guys should be good to go even from here on one pit stop. But again, I'm always surprised. I'm always surprised on what happens here. So we'll see, but we'll see when the rest of the field decides to come in as well. Strickland, the only one coming in that lap right there.
Yeah, he's going to go a lap down here, so you can see how far back actually somebody will drop. And he's on the exit now, so he's just going to go just a lap down as he was up towards the front. So a lot of time is lost, but we'll see how much time is gained. And can that undercut pay out for him? Is it going to be enough fuel to make it the rest of the way? These are some of the questions that we have up here. And if these drivers can make the rest of the way. But right, so far, so good. Everybody's doing a fantastic job. Close battle up there with P number 456 time frame. We got a lot of drivers coming in right now.
And your leader coming in, as well as about 5 or 6 others. Jancic, Garcia, Moultrie, Reiner, Wiles, Stewart, Collins, all in the pits. It's going to give the lead over to Diego Remy at the front of the field. For those of you that are new to the CORE Xfinity Series, just tuning in here to CRN and wondering about the colors of the numbers, we have different divisions here in CORE, and that is the gold, silver, and bronze division based on your CORE rating, which you get after 5 races on the oval side here for Xfinity. All those drivers that are in red are considered rookies. They have not gotten their 5 races in. But there are some that have. We just got to update the colors, and they will be all updated by next week. Quite a few there are still in the rookie and have not been put into a class yet, into a division. So hopefully we'll get all of them cleared up by the end of the season, get everybody with their 5 races in. But you see, it kind of works out. It kind of makes sense. You got some of the gold drivers up there at the front. You got some of the silvers in the middle. You got some of the bronzes towards the back, and the system really works well for the drivers here at CORE.
Yeah, it also gives a chance. You can see Dave Tilford right now. He's up there in P number 5. We've talked about him just a little bit as he was not using that high side to his advantage, and finally coming in for a pit stop. But sitting in that silver division, still making his way around here, battling out with a lot of these I want to call high-end drivers. Just got to get that around a while and definitely have the time on some of these tracks. So Therian really pushing that number 3, trying to get some time and sliding around that corner coming in. But yeah, it's okay. We see Elwood and Therian coming in, so teammates trying to keep things going here on that 52 as we just clipped over 53.
Yeah, and you mentioned the high-end drivers here in the series, and if you're looking at iRacing, Jimmy, I would say, what would you say on ovals here? Maybe like 2,000 is kind of your average driver on the asphalt ovals.
Yeah, for the most part. You get out there, even when you're in the officials, you try to get in that 2,000 range. It kind of gets you away from the guys that are out there brand new, and it starts get these real heavy battles, especially in officials. And then you get into a league like this, and you got these top tier drivers, spend tons and tons of times you know, 4,000 or 5,000 iRating and coming out here and having fun, having some great battles, and they still got to you know, run around some traffic, which gives them a little bit of a challenge too when they have to come up on it. So, but right now doing great so far. Got Strickland out front over Jansen, Garcia, Moultrie, Rayner there for your top 5, and Stewart, Wiles, Remy, Collins, and Elwood back there in the top 10.
We'll bring up and show you guys the iRatings for some of these drivers, and as we mentioned, you know, if you want to consider 2,000 kind of your average driver, you look at some of these drivers that are in there. I mean, Craig Jansen there with a 6.1 thousand iRating. You got you know, Stewart there with a 5.1, Pick 4.8. There's a lot of guys that are well above 3K, let alone, you know, 4 or 5K. So a lot of really talented drivers here in the series, and it makes it very competitive week in and week out. I know we've seen Alan Elwood at the front quite a lot, and we've seen him grab quite a few wins, but hasn't been easy, and he's had to work for it, and he's gonna have to work for it here tonight. It seems like he's got maybe a different strategy than everybody else tonight, but looking right now at your leader, and that is Peyton Strickland. He's got a 1.4 second lead, so the short pit working out nicely for him. If he can make this thing to the end, that is the question. But you see even some of these lap cars here, the 11 and the 114, making it by him pretty easily. And you see Jansen right now already down to 1.1 seconds. So, you know, quite possibly maybe looking for a late caution is Strickland to get in there and get that last set of tires and really have a chance at the win here tonight. But it is Strickland, and now Garcia making a pass here for a second over Jancic, Moultrie, Reiner in your top 5, and then you got Stewart, Wiles, Remy, Elwood, and Therian in your top 10.
Yeah, some have him back there with a 45. Not quite sure exactly, but definitely slow on the back stretch there.
I don't want to say out of fuel unless maybe he came in and it decided not to take fuel, but that's what it seems like. It seems like he's really limping around there. I don't see any kind of issues that popped up on SDK, but certainly limping that thing around here, and maybe it's just being torn up. Oh, you see right there, maybe either a flat tire or just heavy contact. That front right is not moving at all.
Yeah, I have the driver's check kind of in my other ear, and I heard him say something over the radio, like, come on. So I think it was just some contact with another driver, somebody heavy racing. I don't know with who, but that was some pretty hard right front damage there for Rainey.
Well, that is the pass for the lead as Nico Garcia now up into the lead, passing Strickland. And we've seen him quite a bit racy early on last week at Lucas Oil with his teammate, and snatched the lead, and they went back and forth a little bit before Edward finally stretched out. Yeah, right by your leaders as well. But now Nico Garcia finds himself 21 laps to go here in the lead, and looks like he's got a real racy car out here tonight. Strickland now in second, but you see right behind him is Craig Jancic running him down, and Bryce Reiner is not exactly too far behind as well. Not sure what happened to Mike Moultrie, because last I seen he was up there battling for the lead, but it looks like on lap 57. So maybe these guys aren't good to go on field, because lap 57, Mike Moultrie came into the pits, as did Caleb Collins, and now we got Daniel Wiles in the pits as well. So yeah, not sure. Maybe these guys were caught up in the issue that you were talking about there with Gainey, but no caution on the track to get us an idea of what happened. So very interesting here
between Gainey and the 039.
Yeah, again, I got a few guys still in the pits, and Daniel Wiles being one of them. And again, third place in the points coming in, but Wiles now finally firing off after about a minute in the pits. So not sure if that was a scheduled pit stop and maybe a penalty for unsafe entry or speeding. The fact that took a minute is quite concerning here for the 48, and he is going to be quite a few laps down, 3 laps down now, coming out in that 20th position.
It's a big time, laps that need to come back, and it's getting late in the game here. We're up to 60, or down to, we're in 63 laps here tonight at Chicagoland Speedway, so it's definitely, kind of concerning here for some of those drivers that are that far back, whether they can pull back and get themselves in that top 10, where we've seen them time and time again. But maybe some of those drivers just pitting a little bit early now, taking them tires and the rest of the fuel needed, because they know that the drivers that are up front cannot make it the rest of the way. But I'm sure somebody in that back within their 13 drivers might have enough to make it the rest of the way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at, like Mike Moultrie, like I said, he came in at lap 57, but only a 5.67 second pit stop. So it's definitely a little splash and go action there. But talk about, back and forth, and that's certainly the way you can describe the night for the 440 here of Derek Pick. Obviously qualified towards the front, but was not supposed to qualify here tonight with the driver's license penalties that he had. So got sent to the back, worked his way all the way up, almost to the top 10. Yellow comes out, ends up taking no tires or 2 tires if he took any, and gets all the way up to the front. Fell back towards about the 18th position before he kind of settled into the back half of the top 15 before this last set of pit stops. But now he's back up inside of the top 10 in 9th place right now, and kind of in there all by himself. You see about 6 seconds in front of him is Elwood in 8th place, and then you look behind him about 11 seconds back to 10th place in AJ Connor. So this field has certainly spread out quite a bit, but not up front here as it's starting to get a little close. And Chase Stewart kind of coming out of nowhere here as he is on a flyer here. He is doing very well right now, up in his 2nd place. Does he have something to run down Nico Garcia is the question, who was out to 3 seconds into the lead is that 51. But Stewart now into 2nd. Jancic is into 3rd. He finally catches up and gets around Strickland, and now Diego Remy to the inside, gonna move Strickland back to 5th place. So again, if these drivers can't make it on fuel, maybe Strickland is in the right spot, and he's just kind of hanging out right now. But he's gonna have to come in pretty soon here if he decides to take tires. I mean, I feel like it's getting this late in the race, Jimmy. You're just taking a splash and go. You don't have time for tires.
You don't have time for any tires. You're looking at, even if you took just right sides car, and you're looking at least 11 seconds, I think, or somewhere around there, or 8 or 9 seconds. It's still over the fuel amount that they're taking, and so it costs you time. 3 seconds in the pits is way worse than 3 seconds, or on track. So it's huge. As you can see right now, the leader in 2nd place are 2.3 seconds. So I mean, that's a pretty big gap there between those two. So it's very interesting as this thing winds down, and who's got fuel, who does not, who has to come in, when they're coming in. We're down to 11 laps remaining here, and we still don't know who and if anybody can make it the whole way.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at the guys towards the front here, and you look at the pit laps when they came in, and bring them up here for you guys. Pretty interesting. You see, I've been kind of keeping an eye back there at the back half of that top 10 with Shane Theory and Alan Elwood. They clearly had pace early on, but all of a sudden they've been in the back half of the top 10, not really making too many gains. And I'm wondering if that is a little bit of fuel strategy here, trying to stretch this thing out all the way to the end, as they did pit on lap number 52. One of the later pit stops compared to everybody else, so maybe they know something that these other drivers up here in the top 6 do not. We're about to find out here pretty soon. We are at 10 laps to go right now here at Chicagoland. It is Nico Garcia, Chase Stewart, Diego Remy, your top 3. Greg Jancic, Peyton Strickland rounding out your top 5. Then you got Reiner, Therian, Elwood, Pick, and Connors making up your top 10. It'll be very interesting to see what happens here at the end. Who you guys think is going to bring this thing home? Who do you think has got the hot shoe to grab the win here in the Windy City right now? It looks like it's Nico Garcia, but maybe not for long, as the lead has shrunk and shrunk big time. Chase Stewart is not messing around here. He is putting in some very, very fast laps. He is a half a second faster right now than Chase Stewart. and we'll bring up the, if I can find it here.
Yeah, that lead that Nico Garcia, I think he finally realized that, hey, I don't have the fuel. And he, it might be down to that part where he's going to be going, coming down or we'll take that splash and go. But we'll see how things pan out here as the 40 is now on that back bumper of the 51 and actually going for the lead here now.
Not on the back bumper anymore, and you see right there as it switches over Garcia, you see he's been losing time hand over fist, lost a big amount of time there in lap number 70, and maybe that is saving fuel. We'll see if Chase Stewart will be saving fuel early on this run, but he has gotten to the lead, and Nico Garcia gives up now second place to Diego Remy. So the 40 and the 82 now in first and second place, as this thing has gotten very, very interesting here, as we've got 7 laps to go, and man, you want to talk about getting interesting. We have got a yellow on the track, and we'll take a look at how that came out. Looks like we gotta rewind it here a little bit, as it looked like Rambo maybe tried to go down in the pits and was not gonna make it down in there and kept it going. I'm surprised that this actually brought out a caution here. Maybe that's why, because he stopped here on the infield. But Jimmy,
when you
now what? Now what?
I think the elbows are out. Everybody's going to come in, fresh tires, and everybody's going to try to get them positions. And we've seen some pretty stout driving here, especially early on when you've seen the elbows flying. It's going to be a repeat call, and there's some good fast drivers not too far back, so if they can get down and execute a good pit stop here, you're going to see some things go down here, and obviously you're going to have some, I think, stay out and test fate.
That you will. And the thing is, we're going to be pretty close, if not going to be right there at a green-white checker here to finish this thing out. Typically, green-white checkered, you just want to keep that track position. Not too worried about tires or anything like that. If you need fuel, I get it. You just have to come in and take a splash and go. But honestly, we've seen these tires, the difference in the tires be unbelievable here tonight. Just a huge gap in speed when it comes to the tires. So this could get very, very interesting, and again, these drivers have 2 shots at a green-white checkered here, so this may not be the last caution that we see. We may see one more restart before this thing is over, but quite a few drivers decided to stay out. In fact, the top 6 decided to stay out. That is Diego Remy, Craig Jancic, Shane Therian, Alan Elwood, Bryce Reiner, and Mike Moultrie. Nico Garcia, your first car out of pit lane from 7th. Looks like Chase Stewart, Peyton Strickland, and Garrett Picker going to round out your top 10, but the only one in that top 10, man, that's been back and forth all night here. Garrett Pick, he's got fresh tires. The rest of the guys that came in the pits in front of him did not take tires, so man, this is going to be interesting. I feel like this is a time where we need, forget picture-in-picture, we need about like 17 different cameras here, one on each car that's still out there, because this is going to be very interesting here at the end.
Yeah, it's time to hook up a big old studio, go worldwide here, Carl, just with CRN, but yeah, there's so many angles, so many different things that we can show. We're going to try to give the best coverage possible, but it's going to be a fight to the end, and it's going to be a lot of word vomit in the next couple laps here.
Well, the thing is, at this point, if you run out of fuel, it's on you. This is completely a bonehead move. If you run out of fuel at this point for any of these drivers, here's your chance to come in, take that splash, or here's your chance to save that little bit of extra under caution. But other than that, it's got to be foot to the floor. It's got to be give it everything you got. It's got to be run the fastest line that you think you can run every corner all the way to the end. And honestly, put all these names on dartboard and throw a dart. That's about the best chance you got of I think, picking out a winner here. I mean, everybody up at the front. Remy has been very fast here tonight. He's up there in the lead. Jancic obviously has led a ton of laps. Shane Therian was battling for the lead early on in this race. Alan Elwood doing the same thing. Reiner has been up at the front. Moultrie has found his way up there close to the top 5 a couple of times. Nico Garcia was leading, and so was Chase Stewart before this caution came out. Peyton Strickland led a bunch of laps as well. Darren Pick back and forth all night here. I mean, take your pick. Top 10. We're about to find out, though, as this thing is going to be going green. And Jimmy, I don't think we're actually going to use a green-white checkered here, so this may be a free one for these guys. It's going to be a green-white checkered, but it's not going to count as an overtime one, so technically we could be here for a couple more restarts if that is what's needed here to finish this thing out. But hopefully these drivers just do it in one shot here, put on a great race all the way to the end. I know there's going to be a lot of tempers probably flaring here to try and get their way to the front. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting.
Those top 6 are going to have their hands full with the rest of the field because they're on older tires and they're not on like close to tire, they're not close in no means. They're 20 laps difference, and that's a huge change between those two. So those top 6 are going to be fighting like elbows out, tooth and nail to try to keep the rest of the field behind. But pace car is in, and we're going back to green here at Chicago.
Remy on the loud pedal, but he doesn't get any kind of big advantage heading off into turn number 1. Side by side, Remy on the inside, Jancic on the outside, 3 wide, back at the back of the pack. The 90 down the inside. Looks like everybody is
Moultrie, 4 wide.
Gonna make it through, and Moultrie has a rough corner, falls back a bunch. Jancic still fighting on the outside. He's got a slight advantage over Remy. Here comes Pick. Fresh tires and working out very well for the 440, but can he find a line to get through? One more lap to go. Jancic to the front, 4 wide almost on the front stretch. Jancic in the lead, 3 wide now, and a turn number 1. Here comes Pick to the inside, and if he gets to the lead,
into the 3. The Pick runs away with it. Elwood and Jancic going.
Crashing down here on the back, but Pick with the fresh tires from 10th to 1st here on the restart. He is going to get it done. We'll take a look at the battle at the back here and to contact. And it is going to be Elwood for 2nd. Reiner coming home in 3rd. What a crazy finish here at Chicagoland. And man, it took a full 80 laps before these drivers really turned up the wick here, but what a finish.
Yeah, I mean, wow. Can you imagine sitting in 3rd? I'm gonna finish 3rd. Next thing you know, you're finished 5th.
Well, Pick does the move of the race here, and we're going to go ahead and hop on board and ride with him after we show a little bit of the burnout here for your winner here tonight, as he goes literally from the back to the front here after having to serve that EOL. Doesn't mean a thing. He finds a way to make the strategy work for him, and work it did. Take a look here at the green flag, and again, we're going to hop on board here with him and show you the view of what was. Green flag, it is green and white checkered here. He is in 10th place, and looking for any and every way to get to the front here. Obviously got better grip than everybody in front of me. See Moultrie right there getting loose. That certainly helped him and allowed him to get past a few cars here on the outside, but you see the grip off the corner, and especially the grip going into the corner here, able to send it pretty hard right up behind Elwood here. And then it was just finding a way, finding a line. He gets a little bit of a look right there as Elwood went to go to the outside of Jancic. He goes 3 wide, close with Remy there on the inside. And then just enough rotation right there through the corner. And Jimmy, that was all she wrote.
Yeah, that's all she wrote. It's just it was just an intense battle, and it's it really, yeah, it's just, you can't get any better than that. I mean, to be honest, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, there's tonight's results here for tonight would be Garrett Prick, Alan Elwood, Bryce Reiner for your top three. Then James C. Wright, Peyton Strickland, Craig Jancic, Tyler Bramble, John Crane finishing in 8th. Chase Stewart, AJ Connors, Mike Moultrie, Nico Garcia, Shane Thurian, Diego Remy, Caleb Collins, Josh Van Weston, Dave Tilford, Joseph Thomas, Daniel Wise, John Williams, Tony Bramble, Jeremy Gainey, and Casey Felt.
Just waiting for our drivers to hop into the room here and get their well-deserved interviews. That was quite a crazy finish here at the end, but looks like we got everybody in here now, and man, I don't even know where to start. I know where we're going to start driver-wise, but wow, what a finish here from these drivers. And we'll go ahead and start off with Bryce Reiner, and it's off the screen here so you can actually see his car. But Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and take our third place finisher here tonight, the 90 of Bryce Reiner.
Hey, Bryce, it's Jimmy Carl up in the booth. Do you copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Hey, man, one crazy finish to this race. You guys had one heck of a battle throughout tonight there, and you know, you're kind of sitting there, you know, looking at maybe finishing in 5th with everybody taking new tires. But a little bit of incident happened right there coming off turn 4. Able to slide by 2 cars, bringing in that 3rd place. But in either way, it was an interesting race from our point of view. Give us how it was on the track here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the first probably 20 laps, 30 laps were pretty intense with everybody up front. Probably the first top 8 guys. We were really, really pushing it. I don't know about everyone else, but I think I was trying to keep pace with the front guys just to see what I had for them and see how my tires were after, 15, 20 laps. All in all, I think it was a great race. It was definitely a fuel mileage race towards the end. Got a little hectic towards the end as well. Crazy happened in front of me, and I just went full throttle and just tried to get through all of it.
Hey, when you only got about 10 seconds left and not much time to think about it, you just kind of keep your foot down and go. And sometimes a little bit of luck carries a long way, and it carried you to the 3rd place finish here tonight. But you did a great job, keeping the car up there and putting yourself in a position to actually be there for that opportunity. So again, congratulations, and just want to, obviously from the booth say congratulations, but also give you a little bit of time for any shots you may have at that number 90.
Yeah, thank you. Fuel mileage race for sure. I was definitely saving towards the end to recuperate that. Lost a little bit of positions. Didn't think I'd gain it back, but I guess that caution came out. Perfect timing for me and my teammate Craig up there in the front. And we saved pretty well. And then it was just the battle to the end. But definitely I want to thank everyone, my family, friends, definitely my teammate Craig. Digital Sim Sports for all they do with me and all the road guys, and you guys up in CORE, up in the booth every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I believe you guys are up there doing what you guys do, and appreciate you guys.
I really appreciate the shout outs, and again, congratulations on that 3rd place finish, and we'll let you go celebrate with them, friends and family.
Thank you, appreciate it.
That is your 3rd place finisher here tonight, the 90 of Bryce Reiner. 2nd place is going to be the 5 of Alan Elwood. And Alan, you had a fast car at the beginning there. It looked like you had one heck of a battle there to try and get the lead. And I guess we kind of need to start right there. I mean, it seemed like you had the speed to get to the lead, but then once you weren't able to get it, you started to fall back there a little bit. Were the tires worn out in that first run?
Yeah, 97 was doing everything in his power and right to stay up at the front, and he did that. But in the process of me trying to get around him, I cooked my stuff, and my right rear was just kind of it was screaming at me. So it is what it is. I tried to get the lead there in the beginning, and then once you settle in and you kind of figured out there when we pitted that we could potentially make it on one more stop. Shane and I really tried to save hard and we did that. We were golden there at the end. I think we were probably going to end up first and second for sure if the whole green sequence had played out, but ultimately, so kind of unfortunate. The whole strategy part for everyone's end didn't quite work out, but it is what it is, I guess.
Well, yeah, that kind of answers my my question about act number 2. It seemed like both you and Shane at least came in, a little bit later than everybody else on lap 52, and you guys were just kind of hanging back there in the back half of the top 10. So that was all the fuel strategy that you guys are playing out.
Yeah, we were really saving back there because we knew that we were even coming out of the pits there. We knew we were really close, and we knew that if we pushed it really hard, we were going to have no chance to make it on one more stop. And like we were clutching and everything, just trying do what we could, and we saved quite a good amount back there, and we felt like we were like I said in a really good spot. But just. Events caused that to not happen.
Well, either way, it ends up being another good points night. It looked like for quite some time there. And Nico had a very fast car and was maybe going to have a chance at gaining a bunch of points on you. But if it played out the way that you guys wanted to, with it being green the whole way, he might have fell by the wayside anyway. And unfortunately for him, he falls out of the top 10, and you gain a little bit more on him. Not another win here tonight, but another good night, another good points night, another second place. So before we let you go, anybody you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, just first off, really good run by the team tonight. I know results won't show that, but every week we're showing that we're forced to be reckoned with. No matter which of whether it be me or Nico or Shane, we're all doing our part, running fast, and was really hoping that Nico had himself in the lead position there for a bit. And once if the cycle had played out, I was really hoping that Shane would get it because he's been deserving a win for a while. So really happy with the team tonight, and everybody at Simrat Market, you guys here in the booth, and pretty much everybody here in the league. For the most part, I'll say we have a good group of guys here, and for the most part, everybody puts on a good show. So happy with those that do, and we'll go on to next week.
Yeah, I mean, a great race last week, and a lot of good racing out here tonight. It's great to see that the cars fan out on tracks like this, like Chicagoland, when you guys had a ton of grip and 3, 4, 5 wide out there. It was fantastic. So thank you to putting on a good race out there, as always, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, and I can't forget you guys here in the booth, too. Forgot to give you guys a shout-out. You guys are awesome up here and do a great job every week. So really appreciate you guys putting the show on for us and the fans, and give everybody the entertainment they deserve. So thank you.
Well, all right, we'll take you off the blacklist for not showing you next week. All right, and you're back on the broadcast. There you go. All right,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Congrats again on the second place here. We'll let you go celebrate.
Thanks, guys.
That is your second place finisher here tonight, the 5 of Alan Elwood. Last but not least, Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and take our winner here tonight, the 440 of Garrett Pick.
We got the 440 of Garrett Pick up here in the booth with Jimmy and Carl, and we'll say nothing to the least of one of the most interesting nights for a driver on track. Goes out there, puts a good lap time in, forgets about his penalties, gets thrown to the back, comes all the way to the front, the lead, and then just kind of chills in the middle of the pack. Late caution comes out, and bam, he's in. The golden egg is thrown your way. Garrett, it is Jimmy and Carl in the booth. Do you copy, buddy?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, the stars aligned for you tonight. From probably being down and out, I could sense it. I could feel that, like, crap. Like I messed up. I gotta suffer my pains and wounds, take my lumps, go to the back and do what I need to do. But you stuck in with it all night long, found yourself in the right spot, right time to walk away the winner here tonight. Why don't you give us a little bit of rundown of your race and how your strategy played out for you here for this week?
Yeah, forgot about the penalty, so that's kind of sucked. But just I think I drove up to 9th before that first caution came out, and then I decided to save a set of tires for the end. Didn't take tires that time, so we were just pretty much running last until we had to pit for fuel, and then I had taken fuel and everything and had to save a bunch, and was just kind of I think I would have ended up maybe like 7th or so, but yeah, caution ended up coming out.
At least you knew at that point, you were kind of settled down. But like I said, when opportunities arise just like that, you're able to have them extra tires in a perfect position to snag that win, and some really tight moves there at the end. They were very close passes. Obviously the high quality drivers up there, it's hard to get around even on the older tires, but some great driving there on that 440. You walk away the winner here tonight, and just from the booth, it was just an awesome watch. So as some of the drivers behind you weren't as lucky, but again, we want to say congratulations on that win here tonight. Give you a little bit of time for any of the shout outs you may have there on that 440.
Appreciate it. Thank you. We had Chase Stewart working on the car all week. Got it real fast for Chicagoland. And then the strategy worked out in our favor.
Again, congratulations on that first place finish, and welcome back. Hopefully, them penalty points will start dwindling off, and we'll see you back up here next week.
All right, thank you.
That is your winner here tonight at the 440 of Garrett Pick. And again, can't say enough about all these drivers out here tonight. Put on another fantastic show. Only a couple cautions to show for it, and that's what you like to see, and especially when it wasn't exactly not racy, Jimmy. I mean, these guys were just at each other's throats from the drop of the green. It was crazy.
That's the way you want to see it, And the caution came out, and I think instantly after it came out, I think the whole field was like, "Whoa, let's just slow down. We got another half, another 3/4 of a race to go. Let's chill out for half the race." And they did that, Carl. They brought it back around, and there was a couple bumps and bangs. I'm sure we'll get the flags to go review those later, as you and the rest of the admin usually do. But it was just an overall great race to watch, and to see somebody, obviously, it's Pick was held to the rules. So he had to serve those penalty points, and he was able to work through the diversity and come back through the field and win. So just because you get penalized, if you did the crime, you do the time, and that's what he did. And he was able to come back, and he walked away the winner here tonight. So it can go both ways. You just have to be patient and work your way through the field, have some great racing out there, and give each other room. And awesome things gonna happen, awesome shows. I'm sure there's some iffy calls or judgments that maybe some of the drivers made, and maybe some tensions are high between some drivers right now, but they'll cool down by next week, and they'll get back out here, and it's racing, and it happens every week. It happens in real life. I'm sure there's plenty of examples, and especially if I'm not mistaken, this past Sunday. So there's definitely a lot of things out there. So all I gotta say is I hope the drivers keep coming back every week, Carl, because this is a lot of fun to come out here and not only just call these races, but to watch them as well.
Well, Jimmy, I hate to do this to you. I hate to take away your sleep for the next 6 days, but we're about to have some really great racing action next week, and it should see a little bit of the same, a little bit of 3 wide, 4 wide, maybe even 5 wide. We travel to Michigan next week, buddy.
Whee! I love me some Michigan. I love me.
Certainly going to be a good one out there at Michigan, as we keep it here in the Midwest. And 2-mile tri-oval, nothing cookie cutter about Michigan. It is just a fast ripping around that kind of track, and it's great seeing again all the different lines that are going to be run out there. Drafting certainly is going to be a big part of it. There's going to be a lot of high speed out there, and it should put on another great race performance here in the CORE Xfinity Series. Thank you to everyone that tuned in here again tonight. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get in touch with everything that CRN has to offer, and just tons of great racing. Doesn't matter what league is put on here. Doesn't matter who's in the broadcast booth. There's some great racing action on the track here at CRN. But for myself and Jimmy here at the Chicagoland Speedway, we'll see you at the track.